Hey, what up, y'all? You got the Sarge here. Wednesday evening in the backyard. Big shout out to the Crap Nation crew. What up, my peeps? So, normally, well, Wednesday night, I'll be getting dialed in for live fantasy crap. However, before I do that session, I'm gonna leave that for another set. I've been getting some good feedback about that video, one of my videos that I just put out there last week, a couple days back, about in-depth look at the chopper, and I got a couple of questions back. So I think I'm gonna name this video probably 3 things I forgot to mention, because again, I got some questions back and I'm gonna try to answer them, plus throw a couple of little tidbits on top of it. So first question that I got, and I'm gonna basically let you guys know. Someone asks, when I'm tossing, do I always, push up on my leg, on that right leg like I showed you guys? Yes and no, okay? It varies, and that's why, again, I start off with the rear view cam. I ain't gonna call it the butt cam. Hell, we ain't going there. Alright, but it is the butt cam. Alright, rear view cam. Alright, so yes, you can throw it that way, and I would recommend if when you initially throw it using the method that I initially put in the other video, where you push up on your right toe during the release, if you're getting too much momentum, basically the dice are crashing the back wall and scattering, I would say then you might be putting a little too much momentum on it. And to cut down on your momentum, one of the easiest way to do that is to just stay flat-footed, which is what I'm about to do right now. Okay, so I'm just gonna throw 3 toss here, flat-footed. Okay, coming over the top. Remember, light grip, over the top, introduce the middle finger down to the base, pick them up. Watch the legs. Don't watch the release, watch the legs. Just stay flat-footed. I kept everything flat, and just based on my, everything was basically like you're kind of stiff-arming it, so to speak. Okay. Let's go to that 5-4-5-4 set. Like I said, this was a question from one of the viewers on YouTube that hit me up on the sidebar and asked, do I always push up on my feet, push up on my right foot? And that's why I'm starting off here. Okay, leg grip over the top, come in, watch the feet, flat-footed. Okay, basically you're emphasizing more toss from your hand, okay, as opposed to trying to gain the momentum, the added momentum. And like I said, it can be done both ways, flat-footed, and or push up. Now when I'll throw one more like this, okay? So again, left foot forward, right leg back, 9 to the front, 6 to the rear. That's the way we do it here. Yep, all that good stuff. They don't call me the Sarge for nothing. Alright, here goes. Over the top, come in. Watch the alignment. Like so. Okay. So, again, it can be thrown flat-footed. Don't necessarily have to push up on that. Whatever feels comfortable to you, if you like staying flat-footed. But I would say, if you throwing the dice flat-footed and the dice aren't making it to the back wall, then you might want to think about pressing up on that right toe to get that more momentum. Or the reverse of that, if you're during your release, if you're pressing up on your right toe and the dice are crashing the back wall, you might want to go stay try staying flat-footed. Again, if I stay flat-footed, it's going to be the same stance. I'm not moving anything around, okay? But this time I'm going to push up on my toe. And when I'm doing that, I think of my right leg more like a kickstand, because what I do initially is I'll press up on it, and as soon as I press up, I take my right hand and pull my body in so it stays in place. I don't want my body flopping around. Then I can extend my hand out because my body's anchored by my right hand. Okay, I can extend my hand out in the chopper. When I throw it, a cashier case through it, you'll see that, you know, you stretch out. And what I've found out, what helps to keep my body anchored as I stretch is taking my right hand and kind of pulling my body in. But first, to make sure that I get just enough momentum and body position correct, I'll push up on my right toe initially, pull my body in real quick. I know there's a lot of stuff happening, and then release the dice, okay, while I'm still up, because you know you can't hold that position for too long. So I'll just go ahead and do one, even though it's in the other video. All right. Oh, go light grip. Oh, okay. Let me throw this here. You know. Well, since I'm thinking about it, let me say it now. When you initially position the dice in the, let's say, pickup zone, I'm just going to call it the pickup zone, okay? Because the other dice, when you move your hand around, I'm going to call it the launch zone, just so we can differentiate between the two. I normally shoot from about stick right 2.5 to 3. Okay, if it was a 12-foot table, I'll be almost right up in the hook. Okay, 14-footers, that's another story. We don't have too many of those aircraft carry around, much less 16. But 12-foot, this will put me about stick 2.5 to right up in the hook. Not in the hook, just before the hook. All right, so as I place the dice down, from here to the back wall is 9 feet 6 inches. So my body's, if I look down, my body down dead center is probably going to be right at about a 10-foot mark. Okay. Some people like specificity. I do. Also. All right. So when I place the dice down, I put them to the left side of my body. Okay. Not here in the center. Okay. Because again, it'll kind of mess with your grip. I'll just put it this way. I'll say what seems to work better is placing the dice off to the left-hand side, or if you're righty, the right-hand side of your body, and just coming straight down, okay, so that the dice are on the left side of my body, come in very lightly over the top, very light. All right, bring them around. I'm gonna throw this one, I'm gonna stretch out on this one. Dice off. Okay, so push up, lock your body in. With your body locked in, you can extend your hand. You'll be able to extend your hand better during the throw. If you don't lock your body in when you extend your hand, it's gonna feel kind of awkward, and your body's gonna want to move. You'll get a little body sway. You don't want your body moving, your upper body moving. So here go again. All right. Again, I'm going to push up on this one. Push up on the right toe. Right grip, bring it around. Dice out. Okay. Push up first. Pull the body in to lock it, anchor it. It does a couple of things when you pull your body in. It's going to lock your body against the chip rail, and it's going to keep your hand straight in line to where you want the dice to fly and go. Okay? Alright, so that was question number one. Can you throw, do I always throw the chopper flat-footed? No. I mean, do I always push up? No. Sometimes I vary it, just so you know. Sometimes I'll throw it flat-footed. Sometimes I'll throw it. Uh, I'll push up on my right toe. Most of the time, I'm pushing up on my right toe. But if I see my dice crash in the back wall, one of the quickest and easiest adjustments that I make is I'll just go flat-footed, because I'm like, okay, I'm getting a little too much momentum. The dice are crashing the back wall and kind of scattering, or hitting the back wall, and I don't want that. I want to give them just enough energy to get to the back wall, to the base of the pyramids. And with the same respect, like I said, if the dice aren't making it to the back wall and I'm flat-footed, then I'm definitely gonna start, going up on my toe for that extra added momentum, and releasing that way. So okay, so there you go. Just wanted to put that out there, clarify that. That was one thing. One of the next questions that I got in a sidebar from one of the viewers was, is my hand touching the chip rail when I pick them up? Okay, is my hand literally laying against the chip rail when I pick them up, or during the release, I should say? Because when I initially pick them up, yes, my hand is of course laying straight down, laying on the chip rail, because I got the dice about 10 inches out from the sidewall. Okay. However, once I bring them around from the pickup zone, let's say into the launch zone, right here, my hand is not touching the chip rail. It's literally not touching the chip rail. Okay, probably about about 2 inches away from the chip rail. Because if it's on the chip rail, you're gonna get that friction. It's gonna throw the toss off. Okay, so no, my hand doesn't touch the chip rail. And I think even Cashier Cage will tell you the same thing. I don't think his hand, quite sure his hand doesn't rub against the chip rail during the release. Okay, so no, my hand does not make contact with the chip rail. That was tidbit number 2. All right, so okay, enough of the rear cam view. Again, that was only here. Let's do a little Blair Witch thing, bring it back around. Here we go. Get the scary cam going again. Bring this around. Let's see if I can get it back in here without screwing up and losing the video. Sorry about that. Hands all over. Ah. Oh. Come on now. Come on. Sorry about that. Okay. Got it. Let's get it back lined up. Okay. All right. So it's put my cam back in the landing zone where it should be at. All right. So I think I already answered 2 of the questions from the viewer. Okay. Like I said, we talked about when you're picking up the dice, place them. I normally place them on the left side of my body. If you're a righty, I'm sure you'll place them on the right side of your body. Where you don't want the dice at is dead center your body. I think that'll probably screw up your grip when you try to come in. Okay? Let's see. I'm just answering a couple questions here. Like I said, 3 things I forgot to mention. Okay. Let's see. I'll save that one. Okay. Yeah. Okay, here's another one. This is just a tip. Okay. Also, when holding the dice over the launch zone, if it feels like the dice are a little loose just before you get ready to release them, it's okay to gently squeeze them. Okay. And the way I think about it is, when you come in over the top, okay, with your 3-finger grip, your index and thumb. Very, very light grip. Introduce the middle finger till the index finger touches the felt. Bring them around. Everything's light right here, okay? But if it feels too light, like you don't have good contact with the dice, squeeze them just a little, okay? Dice off. It's okay to squeeze them just, don't squeeze them too hard. It's okay to squeeze just a little, just apply a little finger pressure to them, okay? To ensure, so that you got that surety that, hey, I got these dice in my hand, I'm making good contact, but don't squeeze them, just a very gentle light squeeze. But when you're coming over the top, this is gonna be a very light finger pressure till you hit the base. Bring them around. Again, only if it feels like you don't have them. Squeeze in a little if you want. Dice on. Okay, bad throw. But you get the idea. Like I said, that's just before you release them. All right, let me try it again. Okay. All right. Again, while I'm thinking of it, this is another little tidbit, tip that I picked up. Cashier Cage has always told me that when your index finger is making contact as you're picking up the dice, as you slide them down, you want your index finger to stay as straight as possible. Okay? What I do is sometimes as soon as my index finger touches the base, I keep pushing my fingernail, okay? Yeah, I'll say my fingernail, but really just applying a little bit more finger pressure to the front. I'm not squeezing the dice, but I'm just pushing down a little bit on my index finger so it kind of sinks down in the felt. And the grip pressure is still very light. I'm just making sure that my finger is straightened out as best I can and bring it around. If it feels okay, everything feels good, dice off. Okay? So, again, like Cashier Cage always said, this chopper is thrown by a lot of tactile feel. You know, everything, a lot of things that we're doing here is all about feel, and you got to be feeling the dice, you know, correctly with good mechanics. So, again, it can be done both ways, where you come in with a very light grip. As soon as the index finger touches the base, keep that light grip. Keep everything light. Dice off. Okay? If for some reason, when you come in over the top, that I like to think of it this way. Coming over the top with a very light grip, till you hit the base. Then you go from a very light grip to a light grip. So you can squeeze just a little, okay? And as I'm looking down my hand, it's not bent, the wrist isn't bent down. I'm actually looking down at my wrist here and looking down the sides to make sure that my wrist is pretty much damn near straight, but the dice aren't out here like that, and they're not in here or straight down. They just have a slight angle to them, okay? And let me go ahead and put this down. Also, something that I haven't emphasized on enough, unless you throw in the spread eagle chopper, like Cage just demonstrated on his channel, you're gonna have to provide some type of stabilization to the dice, and that's where this middle finger comes in. The stabilization from the middle finger, you're not pushing it against the dice, you're just kind of laying it there, okay? It's just for stabilization. It's, you know, It's almost like when NASA is launching a rocket and they're sitting on that gantry crank. That's just holding it up until the rocket launches. Okay, and that's what you're doing. Okay, you're just kind of using that middle finger, coming over the top, very light grip. Introduce the middle finger. Okay, and like I said, sometimes I'll take my index finger and kind of dig it down into the felt just a little, so that I know my finger is making contact, but the thumb sits about I'm gonna say maybe 1/8 of an inch to 3/4 in the rear. You know, yes, your thumb can probably go all the way down to the base of the dice. It can be thrown that way, but I don't. And something else too, I would say, experiment. You can experiment with picking up the dice diagonally, like Cage does. Okay, coming over the top. Just set them down diagonally, coming over the top. Everything still applies. Good grip. Bring them around. Well, I forgot to introduce my middle finger. See, because I don't normally throw it this way, but I'm just gonna go ahead and show it. You can coming over the top diagonally, introduce the middle finger still, go down to the base, got it, everything still applies, dice out. Okay, so, hope I didn't jack up that camera. Alright, so again, these are just little small tidbit things, few little tips, and let's see. Let me go to my note sheet here. See, make sure I answered all the questions. Okay, talk about my fingernail into the felt, also when holding the dice. Okay, yeah. Like I said, it's okay to, when you're holding them over the launch zone, if you need to, just squeeze just a little slight finger pressure, okay, so that you know you have them. You don't want your dice slipping out your hand. You can squeeze in just gentle, okay. If the pickup, like I said, if in the pickup zone, we call this a very light grip when we're picking them up, just to make sure, just to keep everything aligned so that we have them just enough. When you come here, we want just a light grip, okay? So you can squeeze it just a little, dice off. Okay? You can squeeze it just a little, if need be. Like I said, the lighter the grip, the faster your spin rate's gonna be, and it will help to stabilize the dice in flight. But you can also throw them at a slower spin rate, and providing your mechanics are sound, they'll stay. Your pitch control should be okay. Okay. Now, last question. Okay, let's see. Yeah, coming up at 25 minutes. The last but not least question I'm gonna answer here is, this came from a viewer also. Where is the landing zone? What do I use for landing zone? Guys, I used to ask Cashier Cage that question all the time. And you know what his response was to me? Saj, you gotta get that muscle memory built in. I'm sorry, that's it, okay? That is it. Cause guys, at first when I was learning the chopper, I was hell-bent and trying to hit a spot and all that stuff. Now, it just happens in the subconscious. When I release the dice go wherever they go. It's muscle memory that's built in, and the dice when I release them, they have just enough energy to get to the back wall. However, I'll say this, for those of you that want and need a landing zone until your muscle memory gets built up, what I will show you here is 9 times out of 10, when I release the dice, they land right about in this area here on my CNE felt, and that's about 36 inches from the back wall. Okay, they initially land about 36 inches and skip from the initial contact is about 36 inches, and they skip to the back wall. Okay, so, but again, I'm not aiming for that CNE spot. I could aim for it, but I don't. You know, it's just muscle memory that's now ingrained. And when I release the dice, like I said, I'm 100% focused on my mechanics as far as finger pressure. If I'm, you know, if I'm making sure that I'm pressing up on my right leg just prior to release, locking in my body. There's a lot that goes into it, and if I do all those things right, trust me, muscle memory is automatic. Those dice are gonna land right in about that CNE area, and they'll skip to the back wall. So there is no landing zone, and Cashier Cage had told me that time and time again. Muscle memory, muscle memory, muscle memory. And you know what? Now I'm a true believer. It's just, it comes from ingrained, embedded muscle memory. The dice are gonna land pretty much 95% of the time in the same area, and they'll skip to the back wall. So, and without even, again, like I said, it just happens in the subconscious because of muscle memory. Okay, so yeah. So that was those were just a few tidbits of information that I wanted to follow up with you guys on, since I got such a good, you know, good response. Got some questions out of it, and I just wanted to make sure that I followed up and answered those few questions. So I don't know. Let's throw a quick few here. All right. And I'm gonna throw these flat-footed today. So there you go. Say something. Okay. Also, while I'm thinking about it, again, just like any good toss, you want to be listening for those dice landing flat. And when they land flat, you're gonna know they land flat, because you're gonna get that solid clap. You guys know exactly what I'm talking about. Okay, that's what you strive for. You want to get that solid landing. Say so. Okay, that wasn't it, but that was decent. Okay. And I'm using the 5454 set for those that's interested. Okay, so that was the solid clack that we wanted. Even though I got a little kickback, a little rollout. Okay. That's a little kickback. So, alright, don't want this video to be coming up right in 30 minutes. Alright. So, just wanted to put those tidbits of information out and follow up with those viewers that asked those questions. And hopefully, hey, everybody keep on chopping, learn to chop, and you know, let's go to the casino and make some money. All right. Time to get dialed in for live fantasy crap. Coming up in about an hour here. Yo, been Saj getting it in. Saj out.